Another week of Behind the Brush as we get behind the Southwest Florida art scene, talk to everything that's happening in the art scene around here. Last week, we had a great show as we sat down with Neil Volz, and you can go to wherever you find all of your podcasts and check out that. The executive director of the Alliance for the Arts, he talked about the summer camp, all the great things that are coming up, and you'll get to know the guy Neil that is behind the scenes at the Alliance for the Arts from my hometown, Cincinnati. It was so great to talk to Neil. And last week also was the Fringe Festival. A lot of great movies out there. And so keep up with what's going on at the Alliance for the Arts. But this week we are getting away. We did back-to-back weeks of executive directors. We also talked to Devin from the Sidney Byrne and Davis Art Center the week prior to that. But let's get behind the brush of the actual people holding the brushes and actually sit down with a great artist and one of my good friends. I love to call you actually one of my good friends because I've known you now for years. Time flies when you're having fun. Juliana Versari, thanks for coming in and joining us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's good to actually talk to you. Like, I even was looking at you. You gave me a little bit of the history of where you're from and everything. And there's so much on here that I didn't even know about you, even though I've known you for years. So it's going to be fun to get behind your brush and find out a little more about you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's how life goes. We meet people at events and art openings, and we never take the time to really find out what's our history and where do we come from and what's our influence.
Let's start right there.
Yes.
You're from California. I knew that.
Yeah.
And you actually have a degree in arts.
I do. I was so fortunate to go to USC for fine art. And I was in the heart of downtown right when, street art was just becoming something to watch. And I even had professors that would have their students, be a street team and go do postering in downtown LA in the middle of the night. I was with my friend doing that.
Too cool.
We got stopped by police and we just say we're students, and they let you go. So I was in LA at a very exciting time.
That is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then also, I thought another cool thing, we'll come back to that a little bit more of your history in there, but one thing I thought was really cool, I really want to hear more about too, is film and costume design that you did.
Yes.
Imagination Design Studios.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
So I only got that job because I did an internship during college, and I found a little shop that did mold making, silicone, plaster molds, and props and costumes for music videos. And so I was an intern, during my college. And I did 1-year internship learning how to do behind the scenes of costume. And then outside of college, I got this amazing job with one of the major Halloween costume companies for the U.S.
Wow.
So I was one of the boys. I would dress dirty and go, work with silicone molds and plaster. And it was a really interesting experience. I got to go to Comic-Con, work the booth. I learned how to just do what it takes to make costumes amazing.
Now, do you have, when you're doing that, do you have to, do you just make something up and then create it? Or are there actual designers and they're like, here, bring this to life?
So since we were one of the top companies, we would get the actual photos of costumes being shot in Hollywood. So back then it was like the Superman, Spider-Man. We would get the costume from set, and then we would try to imitate it as best as possible to put it out as a bagged costume for consumers.
Oh my God, that's cool. I remember when I was growing up in the 80s, the bagged costume at the grocery store literally meant just like this plastic mask with like a garbage bag that you would wear over your shoulders.
Yes.
So I'm sure it was way cooler than that.
It's come a long way. And there was definitely different tiers. There was the affordable one and then there's deluxe. And so that's when, you really want to show up.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So is that what now another cool thing, because we'll go down the track line here of it. You do amazing art. And if you go to beyondthebrush.art, we have some of your great pieces up there in the gallery that you can purchase. And just those are a couple of the amazing pieces. You did an amazing show down at Sidney Byrne and Davis Art Center. You've done collaborations with people. But you also got really into actually making movies. Was this where the costume design, is that what inspired you to get into that side of this?
Well, there's a couple of things. So going back to, you mentioned collaboration, and Southwest Florida has this incredible community of artists that are so diverse. And when I had a gallery in the Naples Art District, I met Corey Patterson, who had a background in film. And he did camera work and had this amazing experience in Hollywood. And so we just decided to, give film a try. We grabbed all of our friends that are artists. Everybody had to become an actor or an extra. And we, found some great locations, and we just shot a short film. And it happened to be a sci-fi, so we turned a lot of places into an imaginary world. And I got to make some really fun, creative costumes for that.
This was a project to save mankind.
Yes.
And I was at the grand opening. What do they call that? The opening, or what is
that? Was a private screening, director's cut.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it was amazing because afterwards, or while I was watching it, I was there with some of our friends, and literally that's me.
Yes.
So it was neat the way you utilized just some of our friends. I'm like, you're not an actor, but you crushed it. But that was a really amazing film. I mean, you shot things at the Imaginarium.
Yes.
Downtown, where the bad guy was thinking about his master plan of taking over the world.
Yeah, we turned IMAG into a spaceship because they have one of the only 2 projection globes of Earth in live stream. So it looks like planet Earth floating in the middle of the room, and it was the perfect backdrop for sci-fi.
That was so cool.
And the directors there are amazing. They, gave us open doors to go film there. So,
who are some of the people that are artists that are probably up on our site that were in the film?
Well, we grabbed everybody that was available. So, Marcus Zotter was, the starring character. And we have Tom Isden. He's a local professional actor. Cesar was a big help. He's, the director at Sidney and Byrne Davis Art Center. He helped us with locations. He was one of our producers. Corey and I and Carlos.
He made some of the costumes. He helped on some of the costume design,
right.
I believe.
He's a very talented costume designer. So that was an amazing collaboration.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Brian Weaver was in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Was Mully?
Mully.
Matt Mulholm was in it, right?
Correct.
Jeez.
And we still have more episodes coming. So right now we have a 5-minute short that's running through film festivals. And we've been officially selected in 5 different film festivals. We were winners of one of them, which was amazing. We got Best Costume Design.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What film festival was that?
That was Best Shorts Competition. And
fantastic.
I just love short film. It's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of a story. And it's so challenging for a filmmaker to tell a really interesting, compelling story in that amount of time. And, it's just great to see the creativity around here.
Are you going to go to the Fringe Festival at the Alliance this weekend?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite annual events.
Yeah.
We have amazing things going on.
I will be there Thursday night for the opening of that. That's going to be very cool.
Yes.
And so you have 5 other film festivals that this is going to be featured in also?
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And one of the things I love about this community as well is there's the Arts and Culture Grant in Fort Myers. And, we applied for one of those grants to see if we can just keep going with film, because it's so different than painting on canvas, because it just involves so many people, so much time and energy and collaboration that not just anybody can put out a film.
Yeah, it is. And it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
There's a lot. Even after you film, you got to do post-production and all the editing that goes into it. It really was great. I enjoyed it when I saw it. And you're going to have more episodes coming up?
Yeah, we're going to keep going, telling the story. See, so I love art because it's storytelling. So I do that with my paintings, with my sculptures, and with film. And it's just a way to express human emotion in a nonverbal way. Because as humans, we have that desire to connect. And so it's something that art and film can do in such a magical way.
Yeah. Now let's go back to your art now and back to the days of California, when you were postering up the whole city of LA and getting caught by the cops and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you see a large variation and difference between the California art scene and the Florida art scene? I mean, we're talking coast to coast here.
Definitely. Yeah. And when I was growing up in San Diego, honestly, the art scene there was not as vibrant as what I've experienced in Southwest Florida. And I've tried to figure out why. And I think when you live in a big city with a lot of things going on, where there's music, nightlife, bars, beach, travel, there's not as much downtime. So in these big cities, people are distracted with other hobbies.
Yeah.
And so what I've noticed is Southwest Florida is this, more slow-paced life where people can stop and create. And so the scene here has been so vibrant and so welcoming that it's been a big difference from California.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Do you find that because you still go back to California quite a bit, you do quite a lot of traveling, actually.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that what you're creating in your art is actually influenced by where you're located?
I think it's a number of things. I think we always hold our influences that are deep-rooted, our cultural exposures. I say that I was around a lot of Asian culture, so I like to tap into Tibetan Buddhist art and, some quantum physics, things that I enjoy as a hobby listening to. I find a way to tell a story about it and communicate that non-verbally through my paintings.
Awesome. That's incredible, because I see that actually now that I look at your pieces. You have one that is 3D and 5D. Explain to me the difference between these, just to let people in on this world of what you mean by that.
Yeah, so I love listening to spiritual content. I'm very open-minded with different cultures and religions. I've traveled the world, and I love bringing different concepts together and kind of translating it from my perspective. And so when I did my 3D mandala, I wanted to take inspiration from Tibetan mandala and tell a story about how a lot of people believe we're in the third dimension, which is a very physical, very dense plane of existence. And it's just the world we live in now. It's what we're feeling. And there's a lot of theories that we're transferring over to, a fifth dimensional existence where things will be a little bit more lighter, more instant manifestation, more connection with nature and animals. And so that's what I showed in my 5D mandala.
I love it. Beautiful. Both pieces are absolutely beautiful. And I believe those were a part of the Grade 8 collaboration down at the Sydney Burn, which I believe was probably last September or so.
Yeah, last summer we had a beautiful showing.
Yeah, and when it comes to collaborations, do you enjoy painting with other people, or do you find it difficult to tell the same story with someone else's pieces or with their influence?
Well, we just so happen to be having a new show coming up called The Great Collab at the Davis Center, and where artists, volunteered to do this experiment where we're anonymously paired with another artist and we have to do a work together.
Oh, they pull names out of a hat?
Yes.
Oh, that could be good, and it could be that,
It was very fun.
Oh, you already did it.
So we're still in process, and we have another month to finish our piece. And so I've been collaborating with Michael and
Michael who?
Santarosi.
Okay.
He's lives in Cape Coral and is also an amazing artist. And we decided we're going to do an entire painting of just monsters. And so we both had a similar style that we loved surrealism and, telling a story and bringing emotion out through our pieces.
That's amazing. So when is this show? Do you know when this is going to actually be showcased?
Yeah, this show will be in July, coming up soon.
Oh, wow. Very good. Down at the Sidney Byrne Davis Art Center in downtown.
It is, yes.
And how many other collabs were there? Do you know? Do you have, or is that more of a Caesar question?
I think that's about 10 different groups, maybe more.
Okay, that's going to be an amazing show then.
And it is a challenge when you bring two people together to decide on a theme. What do you want it to say? How do you want it to look? Not everybody has the same vision. And so it's like being back in kindergarten again, and you have to learn how to communicate and get like a final result. So it's been really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
That's good. I could see where some people would have a challenge with that and it would be difficult. But it's good to hear that you're enjoying it. It is.
This is a great community for artists.
Yeah. So are you going to continue down more of your art path? Are you finding more of the fulfillment and satisfaction inside of making the films?
I love both, and I kind of want to bring it back to when I first got it started out in Los Angeles. I peaked right out of the gates. So I was in college. We had an email newsletter for commissions, and we had the opportunity to try to get a gig with a very famous band. So I went up to the Hollywood Hills. I auditioned, and I got selected out of several people. And so right out of the gates, I reached what everybody shoots for, just that big job, something amazing. And then right after that, I got another band t-shirt, gig. And so it's interesting. I don't know where to go from here, but I know I want to keep telling stories. And so whatever comes my way, I just say yes to everything.
I love it. Go with the flow in the moment of what's coming your way. That's good.
Yes.
I like it. And so now go back to a little bit of how you came to Southwest Florida. Like why here?
I think I have the story of many people where I came here for family.
Okay. And how long have you been down here?
I've been here for 4 years now.
Okay, great. And do you still travel back to the West Coast at all?
I do. California still feels like home. I'm going next week, and my family has a business. We have San Diego University for Integrative Studies, where we offer certificate programs, English programs. So I go and I help with that. And then I come here and I do my art, and I try to do the bi-coastal thing. Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. I love it. So we've got some great potential new series episodes, what do you call them, for the Project to Save Mankind coming up.
Yes. You
got your collaboration coming up that's going to be showing at the Sidney Byrne Davis Arts Center in July. Anything else coming up that you're excited about?
You have
5 film festivals.
Yeah, I was going to say, I am very excited about film as a form of art. And one of my passions is watching interviews about the secret space program, which is something so fascinating. And I wanted to explore those stories that not many people know about. That there's these covert operations, of the military that are going off planet. And I'm exploring telling that through film.
I like it. Project to Save Mankind. That's where it came from?
Yes.
Very cool. And now if people want to follow along any of these projects, they want to keep up with you, how do they do so?
I have my website. It's julianaversari.com. I'm active on Instagram, and I just, share my life however way I can through Instagram.
I love it. And we do have it all linked right there at beyondthebrush.art. You can search all local artists, but obviously you search by last name and you go down to the where the V would be found. And that's where your whole bio is there. And you can shop some for great pieces right there as well. And get out and support these local artists and get out and support these films. Can they see, do you have any, is your film going to be seen anywhere else around here in town?
Well, so I do have a YouTube channel with clips and trailers. Since it's still going through the festival circuit, some of them prefer for it to not be available yet. So That's coming soon, but they are definitely visible on YouTube if you just look for Project to Save Mankind.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for all you do in the art community. And I really appreciate you joining us here. Juliana Versari, and you can go and follow her, see all these great things that she's involved in. Next week, we're going to be talking a little more beyond the brush with more local artists. And don't forget, wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that be Spotify, Apple, it's always out there everywhere to get behind the brush right here. And we appreciate you helping us paint the town.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And you come out there and support local art. We have the Fringe Fest going on this weekend, and there's summer camps that are happening down at the Sidney Byrne and Davis Art Center, as well as the Alliance for the Arts. So if you got your kids and you want to get them into the arts, I know my daughter loved it. Now's the time to get them signed up to do so. And get out there, support local art, get your memberships, and keep listening as we continue to paint the town right here on Behind the Brush.